Cool. And with that being said, we got good blue lighting, no reflections.
I know the whiteboard is a little...
Yeah, but I don't got it in there.
Okay.
So, are you good on that laptop?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, cool.
It's already recording, so...
Yeah. Alright, Coach Rodriguez. What core values define your pro wrestling program, and how do they show up in your daily training?
The core value of what I want for my athletes are guys that are passionate. So passionate drives discipline. So if you want something enough, you'll figure out how to get it. You'll ask questions. You'll be an unshakable force. So the people that I want are people that will do what it takes because they love doing it.
That was awesome. How would you describe the team culture here, both in the practice room and around campus?
I tell them that they're an ambassador at all times. So wrestling is such a new sport in Texas, especially at the college level, that they might be even meeting a classmate that has never met a wrestler before from their small town. I mean, even being here in Kerrville, we don't have a high school with a wrestling team. So even the locals will be meeting Schreiner students that could be their only wrestler they've ever met. So an ambassador at all times. They're representing the school, they're representing the sport. So they need to be moving and representing as a leader at all times.
That's awesome. What makes wrestling at this college different from other programs in your conference?
It's a first. It's a pioneer program. It's one of the first NCAA programs in the state. So everything that we do is a first. So everything we do is a chance to be a spotlight. Everything we do is a chance to be, what we want Texas wrestling to be. We get to establish a collegiate culture here. We get to be the first. So what makes it unique is that we're the experiment, and if we're successful, we've created a model for everyone else to follow.
And that probably comes with its own challenges, right?
Could you lot of challenges that can't even think of yet that will show up.
Could you list 1-2 examples, maybe?
One of the biggest ones is being in a competition desert. We travel, which is a benefit, but at the same time, it's a little bit tougher because, logistics. Like, we got to get on a bus. We have to get on a plane. It's we can't just leave Friday for a Saturday tournament. We got to leave Thursday afternoon. We got to put a couple hours on the road and then a couple more on Friday and then make weight and then wrestle and then another 2-day drive back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a lot of preparing ahead of time, and then a lot of communication and a lot of planning and a lot of making sure things are right before we leave.
So your wrestlers get a chance to travel all the way around, see a lot of places.
Correct. I think your mic is doing something right now. Creator Spotify wants to allow something. It just popped up like right now. Oh, that was recording the whole time.
Yeah, no, it stopped. Damn. Yeah, it's better to figure this out now than do a whole...
Yeah. I was like, something moved.
Something happened.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. When you're doing these answers, don't be afraid to take some space and just slow it down.
Okay.
You're really fast at talking, you get a lot of information out. So maybe slow it down just a little bit.
Okay.
Is it? Yep, we're recording it. Cool. Awesome. Can you share a recent example of an athlete who grew on the mat and as a person because of this program?
There's a person that I got to work with. I didn't start with him. His name was Martin, and he had a lot of things to prove when he first got here. From what I heard, he was not a really highly sought after recruit. He just liked wrestling. He kind of saw a couple coaching changes, and then I got him, and he struck me as just a hard worker, just incredibly coachable. He listened. It was just yes, sir. He trusted the process. He fought hard. He did it even when he was miserable. And one of the more exciting things is he never wrestled at state. He was never a state qualifier, but he was a starting 133-pounder. He got a chance to go for nationals, and he trusted our drilling process. And when we dueled Little Rock, he went head-to-head with one of their D1 wrestlers. He didn't get pinned. He was able to score and get away from stuff. And there's a guy that never qualified for high school state, and he went all 7 minutes with a Division I wrestler, and he was able to score.
Mm-hmm. So you kind of helped his confidence on the mat, and
he just believed, and he believed in the people that came in, and he started seeing the results and the work in the room. And then when it became not a thinking, it became instinct, and he saw what it was like when he was getting the results of just trusting it, and he started trusting himself. He was able to perform and just really level up very quickly, and it was just amazing to see. And he was just a great guy on the team, and people saw him working, and they saw him getting those results, and they followed it, and he just did the work, and people followed it because he did the work, and people saw that he improved and knew his background and started believing just because he was believing in himself.
How did that affect him outside of the room?
He is now applying to veterinary school.
Ooh.
He is taking that type of motivation and trusting his leaders, and if he says, you're the person that's going to help me get to my goal, he's listening to those people. And sometimes when it's difficult and it hurts, he's like, I don't feel good, but you've done it, and I believe you, and I've chosen to believe you, and I believe that you're going to get me to where I need to be. And I think he's applying that to even his academics and the people he's set up in his life to help him get to those goals of just trusting even when it hurts, and trusting even when though you might feel like it's not going the right way, but people are telling you to keep going.
That's a good answer. When you look at recruits, what key traits or habits grab your attention first?
The ones that look at me first, the ones that are like, I want you, like as eager as, if I'm talking to them already, I already want them. If they're coming out to us, they want to be part of us. We have something special for them. So equal parts of they want to be here and we want them, because if they want to be here, they're going to do what it takes to make a second home. If we want them, we see something special in them that we think they can add to the team. So it's something they feel like they can bring, and it's something that we want from them at the same time. They don't know what we want from them other than good wrestling. But other than that, talking to their parents and knowing them as a person, those kind of key values are what we're trying to bring to the campus.
Awesome. Walk us through the ideal recruiting timeline. When should a wrestler first reach out? What steps follow?
Their junior year. Ideally, if it's something that you're going to do and you want to be a college wrestler and you're one of those motivated freshmen, look at camps. Get to a college camp. Like, start small. Don't think that you got to go to these OSU camps. There's a ton of local colleges and clubs that have really talented wrestlers that might not necessarily have that reputation, but getting put on that path to college and looking at college camps. And when your junior year comes up, not only have you done a couple of college camps, different campuses, you're starting to see what kind of division you want to be in. So junior year, start setting up and building your plan, because you need to get your SAT. You need to start looking at your transcripts. It takes a whole year out. Plus, you're competing for your senior year. You don't want to be worrying about your senior year wrestling, trying to qualify for state, and getting a college program to look at you at the same time. You want to have the ones that are on your list, the ones that you want, and the ones that have reached out to you, and having a communication and keeping them involved. So junior year, start junior year. Don't make it a procrastination mission. Like, if it's something you want to do, just start looking, because at least by your senior year, then you can decide if you want to wrestle in college versus panicking if that's something you're going to do.
Yeah. So it's a good idea to have a game plan before the season starts. And
yes. Always have. Preparation is always key. There's nothing you can't over-prepare for.
Yeah. I hear, this is just a side note, I know a lot of head coaches who have the similar mindset. Oh, dude, that thing died fast.
Do you need an outlet, or?
No.
I have like a power strip back here with a big decent extension cord.
I have plenty of ways to make this thing turn on. But one of the coaches I respect a lot, he would say, prior planning prevents pitiful performance. The five P's of life. And then he'd get a little joke of the parents. It's like, it's really piss poor. Cool. So let me see here. Are there any special dates that are important as far as like recruiting timeline for you guys?
As soon as they're able to make a decision, we want to know. If we're reaching out to you, if that moment, if we come up to you and you're like, hey, we would think you have something special. If you tell us yes, then perfect. It makes my life a whole lot easier. Mm-hmm. But for us in our division, the sooner you know, the better for us.
Fair enough. How do you balance folk style success in the NCAA with freestyle Greco opportunities in the off season?
If you're trying to be a good wrestler, you got to be on a wrestling mat. So if you're trying to be good wrestling, freestyle, folk style, Greco, if you can be year-round, be year-round. It's never going to make you worse. You can't weight lift to a championship, but you can wrestle your way to better experience and get a championship. You can be a freestyle champion, you can be a Greco champion, you can be a folk style champion. But either way, you got to be on the mat to get it, and all of them are going to translate to each other. They're all going to add a certain level of success.
That's a good one. Academically, what support systems are in place to help a wrestler stay on track with classes and majors?
We have a tutoring hall service where not only do the students get individual tutoring plans, but it's the tutors that also work with the professors they're taking classes from. So it's not somebody that's like, we're paying you to tutor because you have a degree in math. Like the person that's tutoring you in math works with the professor that teaches you math, that knows directly what you're learning in class, and be like, I saw you having trouble. Come to me in tutoring services. We'll work on it then and there. So you are a person receiving the service you need. If you're having trouble with it, they know what you're having trouble with. They know where you're on in class, and they can work with you right then and there. Instead of playing catch up, you can learn and get more direct tutoring.
Now, could you describe what that process of using those services looks like?
If it's open, they're there. So if they got their time to be there, their job is to teach it to you. So
awesome.
You look it up, you plan around your schedule, you make sure you get there, and you got to figure it out. We have it there for you. You just got to show up. The store's open. You got to show up when the hours are available.
Is it that easy?
It's that easy.
Nice. For strength and conditioning, what does a typical week look like? And how do you build both power and endurance?
Building your power in the off season, building your endurance in the in season. Okay, shedding all the layers off for preseason. Right, so get stronger over the summer. You can't add strength quickly. Strength takes time. Okay, you can't add explosiveness. Explosiveness takes time. So that should be your summer focus. You should be coming in as strong and as fast as possible in the summer. That way, during the preseason, we're getting rid of the layers, and then in season, we're just maintaining and keeping you strong. So we do a lot of body weight stuff to kind of work with those layers, keep up the endurance, but weightlifting is our key success in the summer, but not too much in the in-season or preseason.
Okay. So, but always being on the mat?
Always being on the mat. Something, always on the mat for sure, but at least 3 days in the weight room. Something.
Faith, character, and community service often shape athletes. How do those elements fit into your program?
The way I like to describe people is, I mean, you're out there, you're wearing spandex. You're the closest thing to a superhero people are going to meet. So those kind of values that you have, represent that way. You're out there, you're not a number. You're not, a jersey. There isn't a helmet covering your face. It's you. It's your face. They know how much you weigh. So minimum, they're going to know what you look like. They're going to know how much you weigh. They're going to know something about you're a person. So be a good person. That's all it takes. You can believe what you need to believe, but if you're a good person, no matter what someone tells you, you're always going to be looking out for other people. You're going to represent yourself well. You'll be a hero. You're wrestling spandex. Might as well live a life like one.
That was an awesome answer. I had a follow-up question, but dude, that was great. I might end the video with that one. That was a solid one. What roles do parents and high school coaches play once a recruit is on your radar?
They're the village. Once that athlete is on our radar, their parents, their coaches, that's the person that they're trying to motivate out. Like, it's their village's support. It's not somebody they're just launching off. It's not a platform. It's not, they're not the rubber band of the slingshot. That's their support system. That's their base. So they're going to call their coaches and be like, Coach, oh my gosh, I'm a starter. I figured out my weight. They're going to share that information with a person that's passionate about seeing them succeed, because they got him up there. They watched him grow. They cheered him on. They have some personal stake in that athlete's life, and their parents saw them day one. There isn't a single person that got them to this level that isn't going to care to some degree about how they're doing. So when they come with us, I hope that they come to senior nights, even for our college level, they stay in those athletes' lives, especially coaches. If they see their kid come to our program and love it and they stay all 4 years, there's a relationship with the coach I might never even talk to, but have made. He knows that a guy that he cared about is going to go out there and get for his 4 years for his plan, because he knew he needed to get his athlete to his plan. Now he's following through his plan and he got it. So it's a relationship that we can create, which is community outreach. It's just making sure that these kids are successful, that they harbor those relationships over time, that it's built up, that they get to bring their village with them when they get to campus.
That was a good one. So when a recruit is a part of your program, how much of a role do the parents still play in their training, in their college, in their career? To
a certain extent. We do want men, and that is a 3-letter word that stands very tall. And when they come out here, there's a lot of a learning curve. So parents do try to be involved as much as possible, and that's great. It's not that I don't want them to be involved. That means they love their kid. It means they're trying to make sure that they get to their goals, but we gotta let them struggle a little bit. We gotta let them fail safely. It's not, we can be a safety net, but we can't be the bumpers. Like, they gotta hit some, we'll be there to catch them, maybe on the second or the third bounce, but those parents, they need to understand that there is for sure going to be growing pains. There is going to be a little bit of uncomfortableness, but what parents need to know is they just need to support and motivate and cheer on. They don't need to do it for them. Just let them know that you're there for them. We're here for them too. We want them to be successful. We're not going to let them fail, but just, they got to trust that their kid can grow to their environment. And I think that's kind of a scary thing for a lot of parents, is that they're out there in the world and it's a big scary world, but they can grow to exist in that world. And we got to be trust them a little bit. Got to trust them.
Trust them to be men.
Trust them to be men.
I like it. So, scholarship dollars are always tight. What mix of athletic aid, academic awards, and need-based help do most wrestlers use here?
We are academic based, so the better your GPA, the more money you can get. If you come visit the campus, you get a scholarship just for visiting the campus. So a big thing even on our camps is we're pushing a college dream. If they just come to our campus and they're already a junior in high school, they have already become eligible for our scholarship of visiting the campus. So even if they come to that camp, they might be paying us money, but they're getting $1,000 scholarship just for doing the tour on the campus. So they're investing themselves just by even coming to this camp. They're coming to the camp even to get better at wrestling and even setting up a plan for their collegiate future.
That's actually really cool. So, facilities matter. Can you highlight the practice room, weight rooms, sports medicine resources athletes enjoy?
The best thing about us is that we are a very small, tight community. So all athletes know each other. All athletes work with each other. The athletic trainers know who you are. You want somebody that knows when you're hurting or sees you around campus and asks, like, hey, how's your shoulder doing? How's your ankle doing? Didn't see you at prehab. Like, hey, are you able to make something? They can work with you. It's not just an appointment. It's like you're a person, and the person working with you cares about how you're doing. So our facilities being kind of close together, we got to kind of know each other's athletes, know each other's coaches, and so it becomes more of a giant athletic family. And it's growing. So the best thing about it is, like, right now we're building a brand new weight room. We're building a brand new locker room. We have just updated our athletic outdoor facilities to turf. So everything is growing up. So our facilities, as close as we are together, getting to be very intimate, but also that we're moving and we're growing bigger. So the things are getting nicer. Every year that the school has existed, it's gotten better. Every athlete that's been here has gotten something the year before did not have. So it's growing, it's moving. So just showing up, if you're here now, by the time your senior year, there'll probably be a football stadium. There'll be something new and exciting every year for athletes.
And this is at a time where there are colleges closing.
Yes. So we're investing in the academic side of it to give our athletes a great side of it, to give them a full athletic experience. And especially in a time right now where, it's a privilege to play. And we're presenting a great privilege for these kids to continue playing and get a degree.
For a recruit visiting campus during this camp, what should they pay close attention to that tells the real story of life here?
I think what they should notice is that how flexible things can be. A lot of times when you have a big university, it's very rigid. There's no flexibility with, like, hey, you didn't show up. Versus over here, it's like, let me see what I can do. So there's always a little bit of flexibility because you get to be a person. It's, hey, I know you missed a meeting, but I'm local. I'll come back, we'll get that meeting in. So a lot of flexibility with stuff is just getting that kind of close-knit community feel versus that cold state college kind of feel of, like, hey, you didn't make it, someone else will be there. We got people investing in people here.
Mm-hmm. You win with people. So I got 5 more. Hopefully, I gotta skip one of these. How do you help freshmen adjust to college life, both socially and in terms of wrestling intensity?
So, huge curve. Very steep, but it's huge. Mostly just kind of, as soon as they get to campus, they have weekly meetings with me. And I make them come in with a bunch of them at freshmen. I make them have group meetings, and then we eventually kind of cycle it off to individual meetings. So I have individual weekly meetings with all freshmen all year, every week. So they have to get a weekly check-in with me. If they don't get a weekly check-in, they get in trouble because we need to check on them. There's a lot of things that go on in life. I know as a coach, I see them for the physical side. They might show up and that might be their church where they come in and they just check out, and that's where they get to be who they are and get their energy off, but then they might leave and I don't know what's happening in their dorm. They might be struggling with a relationship or something with class that might not be reflecting what I can look at online, or a family issue, and those times where we get to break those walls down, where they get to, grow to be those men, grow in this world. There's a lot of life that happens between 19 and 23, and sometimes men forget to talk to each other about it, and just sometimes giving that kind of nurturing things like, hey, let's talk. It doesn't matter what it's, just talk. Like, how was your weekend? Oh, I went fishing. Cool. We talked about you went fishing. How was your weekend? I went home and my dad's doing okay. Like, I know what's happening personally in their lives. So making that social adjustment is talking, getting them to break those walls down. Academically, they have to get academic hours. They have to go check in at the library. They have to go check in at the tutoring hall. Somebody is making sure that they check in and then get me those reports. And if they don't get those reports, they have another meeting with me, and it's maybe not so friendly. But it's letting them know that it's like, hey, it's not that you're not doing what you need to do. It's like, we're making sure that you have continued success. And we're putting a big enough safety net behind you where if something does happen, we can fail safely and still come back up to it. So like they're looked at every single day for the whole year. Weekly check-ins at the library, at tutoring, and with me. And that doesn't even include the other people in their lives that are caring about what they're doing.
So it's almost like incorporating them into a community.
We tell them to bring their village, and we add it onto our village, and we make sure a village is looking after them.
That's awesome. Looking ahead 5 years, what goals or upgrades do you hope to see in this program?
Recently, we had our first All-American. We had Austin Cooley stand on the podium as a heavyweight. In 5 years, I'd like for that to be consistent. I'd like new historic memories of where, not maybe a team trophy, that people are very competitive to try to get to the school. I want us to be one of the first things that come up in the conversation, not necessarily an option, but a first choice. So I want people to know when they look over here that it is a representation of what we want wrestling to be, and that it's always kind of a beacon and it's a standard. So in 5 years, I want people to think of Schreiner wrestling as like a standard, either culturally or athletically, and that we have consistent historical moments. So whatever it is in 5 years, I want it to be a historical first, and I want people to think about us as a positive way. And if we can keep that consistently for 5 years and for all of all time, I'll do that.
Yeah. Just kind of off the questions. One of your wrestlers, her name's Taylor, ex-wrestler, I think she graduated. She talks really highly of you. I was like, oh yeah, I got a wrestling camp I'm going to go cover. And she's like, where at? I was like, Schreiner. And she's like, I went there. I was like, oh snap, you going? He's like, no, but like that coach is awesome. She's giving you all kinds of props. So I think you're setting a really high standard already. Just side note.
Good.
Yeah, she had a lot of good things to say about you. What's one common misconception recruits have about college wrestling that you'd like to clear up?
Division I isn't the end-all be-all. There are levels to wrestling, and there is a Division I, and there's an NAIA, and there's a JUCO, Division III, Division II, and Division I. Find the fit that's going to make you happy. If you want that Division I model and that's something you want to chase, that's excellent. Chase that dream. If you want to have a little bit more wiggle room and focus on your academics because you know that maybe medical school or grad school or being a teacher or coach is your end goal, find something that aligns with your life. And you can still wrestle in college. There's a lot of opportunity to do it. Don't just settle on the Penn States, the Iowa States. There's a lot of opportunity to go out there. Find out what you like. Look for your degree first and then see if they have a wrestling program and then see how it works. Don't just jump for the shiny thing because it's new. Look for the place that's going to invest in you. You're an investment. You're an investment because they want you to graduate and be somebody in 4 years. Don't just go to a place that needs to fill a roster slot where they need to have 30 people every year. Go to a place that wants to make you the best version of yourself, whatever it is, either a wrestler or a student. But whatever place you go to is going to support those dreams, not just the shiny thing to be part of the roster. Go somewhere that's going to support your dreams, whether you get to practice with some of the best people in the country, you get to be the best person in the country, or you get to be part of a team that pushes somebody to be it, or you're part of a team that helped you get those goals, that supported you while you supported people. Like, go what's going to align with your goals.
That's a good one. Now, wrestlers are a little bit stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get them to hear that message?
A lot of times that stubbornness comes from I don't think you align with what I want. And it's getting them to believe it's like, hey, your method might be different, but I want you to win. I'm not here coaching you and waking up every morning and getting diet plans and checking on your grades because I hate you, because I don't want you to win, because I don't want you to do well in your match. Like, I want you to win. Like, I want to. Like, I love wrestling. I want to see you do well. So it's understanding, it's like, hey, what does your coach want from you? Like, wants you to perform well. Like, oh, he's telling me to do this thing. It's like, is he telling you to do it because he wants you to lose? No. It's like, hey, both of your goals are aligned. Like, let's get on the same page. Like, hey, how can I motivate you? Like, I want you to win. You want to win. Otherwise, you wouldn't be training this hard. Let's have a conversation to figure out, like, what's the best way to align both of ourselves with your goal. And I think that conversation's a lot of times when that stubbornness comes from, it's like, hey, like, nobody's here against you. And if they're against you, they're on the other side of the line. Everyone behind you and in the corner is on your side. Like, listen to the people that are on your side. Like, we're on the same team. And I think it's kind of just understanding, it's like, you don't feel good right now, but we're trying to make you feel good later. Just listen and just trust it. Just trust the people that want you to do well.
That's awesome. I feel like, just off questions, I feel like that answer comes with a lot of experience behind it.
Yes.
That was a perfect answer. I don't think I could have thought of one better, man. You got the zingers for days, dude. I could hear the coach speech.
Yeah.
Every season I could hear this one. Can you share a story about a walk-on who earned a starting spot?
I think that story's still being written. I mean, me personally, with this journey I've had some coaching experience where I coached college club for a little bit, and those still have nationals, and I had a guy that never wrestled at all. Like, heard about it, not even jiu-jitsu, and by the time he graduated, he was a national qualifier. And he didn't know what he was doing, but he trusted the room, he trusted the experience, he trusted the people around him. And I mean, for somebody just kind of to jump into that kind of depth of experience for nothing, and to just be in a room to like level him up that way, made me kind of really believe like what you can actually be as a wrestler. Like, it doesn't matter if you started as a freshman or you found it later in life, or you're making a jump from maybe judo to wrestling or something like that. It's like, if you're in a room of people that can teach you and are patient with you and are aligned with your goals, like, you can really achieve it. Like, you can do something statistically is not supposed to happen. I mean, we're seeing it every day with high school kids knocking off college studs. You know, it's like, hey, you surround yourself in that environment that aligns with your goals, you probably can do it. And like, people might tell you no, but they're only telling you no because it hasn't happened yet.
That's a good one. Now, you brought it up. So, what is the wrestling team's relationship with other sports like jiu-jitsu or any of these grappling arts?
I think a lot of wrestling probably has a chip on its shoulder, and I don't think it comes from, I think you work harder than me or whatever. I think it's more branding. I think wrestling works very hard and doesn't get as much as attention as it feels like it deserves. But in terms of other sports, I mean, mad time's mad time. Like, I can't hate on jiu-jitsu, because if it wasn't for jiu-jitsu, people wouldn't have started a conversation with wrestling. Mm-hmm. You know, every day you see TikTok of some regular wrestler, maybe just a practice body in the room, being thrown on some D1 wrestler taken down by a jiu-jitsu blue belt. And this guy maybe wrestles on his club team in his local state college, you know, but like, as soon as that carried that weight of wrestler and you put it in a different grappling sport, it has like a reputation behind it. You know, you're suddenly, you know, the room gets a little quiet on the mat when they're like, oh, they wrestled in college, you know, and it created a conversation of people like, well, if I'm trying to get better at this, maybe I should go on this journey first. With us, UFC was a great way to do it, spotlighting all those people, wrestlers, making sure that they said, I'm a wrestler, and just how well it's transitioned into everything, you know, getting a chance. The character of a wrestler has always been shown first. And when people asked why, they said, I'm a wrestler. And all those grappling sports took notice of that and really kind of gave it a spotlight. So they might brand better, but I have to appreciate the secondary shine that's coming off of it.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Kind of following up on that, do you have any guys on your team who do more than just wrestle?
I had a guy last year that fought MMA, got a couple of amateur wins. There's a couple of alumni. I know Nakoa right now is on his MMA climb, and I know I can't speak for much on his career, but I know he's doing really well, and he's had a couple successful fights, and he's continuing to train and coach. And it's a pretty good dream of his. If this is something he's pursuing, from what I can see, he's on the right path of getting that success.
Awesome. I just asked that because there's a lot of jiu-jitsu guys who are wrestling just to get better at jiu-jitsu and vice versa. And I like to show people they coincide.
Yeah. It's like jiu-jitsu is like chess. Wrestling is like checkers. Play on the same board. Different moves. Wrestling's a little bit quicker. Checkers is a little bit quicker with single moves. Chess, you can give up some pieces on the board, maybe even a big piece for ultimately a win. Same strategy of taking the other pieces off the board, but a little bit of rules, different strategy, but mostly the same game.
Dude, it's wild you say that, because I literally use the words. It's the same game, different rules, and you're like, well, it's the same board, different rules. That's crazy. Let's see here. Last question. And finally, if a recruit leaves this interview remembering only one thing, what do you want it to be?
Be passionate. Whatever it is you do, be passionate. Love what you do. If you put your mind to it and your heart's in it, your body's going to follow. It's always going to work on it. Just be passionate about it. If you love something that you do, there's nothing that's going to stop you way to do it. You'll figure it out. You'll figure out how to do it. You won't wait. You'll get up and do it. If it's something you truly love to do, if you can take that passion, especially from wrestling, and nothing stands in your way, not even another person, and you apply that to being a good husband, a good brother, a good father, a good employee, a good student, that passion is going to spill over into everything you do, and you're going to be disciplined and successful. And you're going to love it the whole time.
That's it, man. That was a good one, dude. So you got the zingers for days, dude. No wonder these kids are all inspired.
Do I just hit stop?
Yeah, just hit stop. It's fine.
My millennial is showing.
Yeah, I feel like every day technology moves faster.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I remember growing up with the projector in the little
the little writing ones.
And then,
how old are you?
Just turned 30 last month.
Okay, I'll be 36 next month.
Yeah, so you're like half a decade ahead of me. But remember doing that and then graduating with a smart board. So
I remember when I was in college, they were starting to integrate them in the classrooms, and we were like, "What do you want us to do with this?" Because some teachers had them and some didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, "Okay, what do you want to go and look at my notes for? I already wrote them